Europe is closing in on Kiev. Putin, peace? Let them cede territories. The glimmers of peace of recent months are now only a distant memory. The war in Ukraine continues, it is expanding, it now officially involves Russian territory and could affect it even more. And while the conflict on the ground increases in intensity, the remaining space is occupied more by controversy than by hypotheses of dialogue. Diplomatic chaos between Kiev and Warsaw in today's summit in E5 format, with France, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, and Poland, will prepare what will be the topics on the table of the NATO summit in early July. While Moscow seems increasingly isolated and excludes the US as mediators, Putin returns to hypothesize an agreement but only on his own terms, just when Ukraine seems to be getting support to continue its long-range raids. The situation between neighboring Ukraine and Poland has never been so tense. Volodymyr Zelensky will not attend the conference on the recovery of Ukraine organized by Warsaw. The reason is not only in the historical controversy Irolis in World War II but the ambiguous positions of the new President Karol Nawrocki. While today, the five major military powers in Europe, with the presence of Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni together with the other heads of state and government, will meet NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, connected from Washington for the meeting with Donald Trump. An important summit, to discuss Kiev but also to manage discontent, with the announced partial withdrawal of troops in Europe, by Trump himself, also in light of the recent dialectical clashes with our premier. An important summit, also because according to Ukrainian government sources, the White House has also given the green light to Kiev for bolder actions, such as those of recent days, against Russia, to force Moscow to sit down at the negotiating table. Trump himself would have given his okay, since Donald would have convinced himself that Putin will not do anything without pressure. Peace through strength, the slogan coined for the occasion by the tycoon, fed up with the constant boycotts of Putin's dialogue. After all, the Tsar yesterday, in the midst of the soldiers, gave yet another propaganda lesson, saying that in Ukraine, a coup d'état was carried out, that they were the ones who started hostilities in the Donbass, and that we were forced to intervene and then open up to dialogue but only on his own terms, attacking the West which wants a war against Russia. We are ready to end the conflict with negotiations, but only if Kiev agrees to give up a large part of its territories, the Tsar reiterated, returning to talk about the Istanbul agreements as the basis for negotiations. But in reality, in Turkey in 2022, shortly after the start of the conflict, the only way was indicated for a negotiation process. While one of his closest collaborators, advisor Yuri Ushakov, confirms that representatives of the European Union have tried to establish contacts with Russia, Foreign Minister Lavrov attacks the United States head-on, they seem to be moving away from their claim to be an impartial mediator. Then, he returns to reject the hypothesis of negotiations. Russia is now focused on achieving the objectives of the conflict in Ukraine. And right here, European unity, the new Ukrainian verve and the American green light can make the difference and force the Kremlin to end it. But there is still a long way to go.